What's up, guys? It's your boy EJ, not Coach Tomlin Show, episode 2. So, I wanted to get an episode out for you guys last week, but between my wife's birthday, killer allergies, and the bye week, I had to take last week off. But it worked out because I got a special guest with me today, my brother from down under. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? My name's Jack, or the Ginger Yinzer, from a little place called Bendigo in Australia, which is in the bottom state, Victoria. Yeah, been a Steeler fan since I was in seventh grade, which was all the way back in '07. So, yeah, been watching Steeler ball for quite some time now, and yeah, it's just taken over my life basically. I probably watch more NFL now over than I actually do watch our own code, Aussie rules. So, yeah, big Steeler fan. Yeah, can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, man, because I hear a lot about Australia. I don't know anybody from Australia till now. Is it true that y'all see kangaroos everywhere?
Yeah, man, all
Or
the time. And I get this question. I went to the States in 23, so not too long ago. And the first question that the guy at the guy that stamps your passport was asked the same question. And they are honestly everywhere, especially like we're in a kind of a country-ish town called Bendigo. There's about probably close to 200,000 people. And yeah, on the outskirts, everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, man.
how about them big ass spiders?
Yeah, funny you say that. It's just getting into spring and all the spiders come out. And my wife literally just closed all the blinds because there was a giant huntsman. Huntsmans are like they're not like poisonous unlike a lot of spiders in Australia, but they are pretty big. Like they get to like maybe like the size of your palm. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool
yeah,
in my
hell
head.
no. Nah, man.
Yes, safe over there.
Man, we don't got nothing like that. Not in Connecticut, in the United States at least. Um, we got deer, but like that's it. Bunch of deer everywhere. And now
Yeah.
apparently black bears are starting to make their ways around here too. And they're getting into everybody's garbage and stuff, but that's about it. Um,
Everyone's got to eat.
yeah, so what do you think about the how was your weekend, man? Watching the division teams lose. How did that feel?
Oh, it was good, man. It was like a little bit boring not having Seal Ball, but it was so good to see. Like we just progressed a little bit closer to that, holding on to that number one seed. Obviously, there's been a few things go our way in terms of all the AFC North teams losing, and I think it was a good week for us to have that bye week, get healthy, get a couple of guys back going into this Browns game.
Yeah, because we got two division games coming up back to back in the same week, which starts off AFC North football for us because we have all six of the division games remaining. So, I'm looking forward to seeing. I know Mike Tomlin will probably get on a little later today to give everybody the injury updates. But I know that the rest of our schedule, man, we got the Colts. I know we got Green Bay, Chargers, Chicago, Buffalo, Miami, Detroit. So we got a bunch of teams that have been playing pretty well, in addition to all the six division games that we got. How you feeling about the guys, man, after the first four games and kind of what it looks like to play against, I guess probably a lot of playoff contending teams. Miami might be the only one that doesn't seem to be going that in that direction with the remaining schedule.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So, like, I think in terms of how we started off in the season, we were a little bit shaky, a little bit rocky, but I think that's to be expected with so many new faces, especially Aaron Rodgers coming in a quarterback. He's a new face, got to build chemistry with his offense, and having a new wide receiver one as well. Aaron's historically fed his wide receivers, but in a new Arthur Smith offense, he's had to alter his kind of his game style. He threw the ball 500, 550 plus times in New York, and now he's going to, only throwing the ball between 20, 30 times on average here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big transition for him, and he's taken a step back away from his usual like Aaron just sling it type thing. But
Yeah, though
yeah,
the
no,
last
he's
game,
come
man,
on.
in Ireland, he fed DK a lot, at least early on. So hopefully we can see more of that. The offense moved very smoothly. Mixing that up, throwing the DK and running the ball. So maybe that's something that we can see more of.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I think that they've kind of consistently gotten better. The more games they're going to play together, I think the more that they're going to kind of gel together and put it all together moving forward into the season. And then, like you said, we're playing some pretty tough teams coming up. Like Colts are looking good. Packers kind of going through a bit of a hard patch at the moment. Um, Bills, obviously, great team, but losing to the Pats, like you can see that these teams have kind of started, I guess, hot and they've tailed off a little bit as
Yep.
well. Whereas like we've kind of started off slow, still somehow managed to win games, but now the last two games go obviously coming up against the Pats, who have beaten. They just beat the Bills, so that's got to be a good sign for us, And then
Yeah.
Vikings are another great team that
Yeah.
everyone's power rankings, they're pretty high up there. So I think we're coming into a part of the season where yeah, we need to be playing good ball and putting it all together.
Yeah. So I was skeptical about the bye being so early, but I felt like it might have came at a good time for us because of the injuries and the schedule that we're about to get into. Because we're gonna need Joey Porter Jr., Highsmith. We're gonna need those guys on board. I don't know if we're gonna have Ramsey for a few weeks. So Joey coming back this week. He said he's back, so we'll see. So hopefully he's able to make it because we're gonna need him out there, man. Jerry Judy and those guys are coming into town, and then we got the Bengals twosome out there on Thursday. So we need that corner depth back for sure. Because I don't respect to James Pierre. Don't know if we want to see him out there on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So it's I was worried when he was out there in New England. I was like, oh, he's on Diggs. Oh, damn. But
For sure, man. Like James Pierre is he's a bit of a guy that's he's consistently just made the roster, and he's obviously plays special teams a lot. But in terms of having him go up against the guys that we got coming up, Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Jerry Judy, you probably want some more experienced guys out there. Joey Porter Jr. Ramsey and some more experienced guys that can kind of play up and play into zone as well. Whereas Pierre's a little bit lost sometimes. Pierre
yeah,
Allen.
man. Yeah, a lot of times, but I think Joey said he was back. Highsmith might be back. Calvin Austin is the one that I'm intrigued to find out about whether or not he's going to play this week. Because he's put together a pretty good, 4 games in a year. The Seattle game, he caused an interception or whatever. But aside from that, man, I think him and Aaron have started to get in the groove as well. Like you said, these guys are starting to gel together. You can tell they've been working together. What do you think about Roman Wilson? Because that's a name that we've heard about in camp coming into the season. Scotty Miller, we've heard about those guys, and I feel like we haven't really seen them.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. Like, where is Roman Wilson? That's what everyone wants to know. Like, he came into the preseason looking like he's going to get a lot more game time. He was looking great in preseason. Like, um, started to build a lot of chemistry with the backups. But as soon as the in-season games start, as soon as the games start, they've we just haven't seen him. Like, um, really the only guy we've seen is, like you said, Calvin Austin, but now he's injured. Who's going to take the next step and replace him? Or, it's trade deadlines coming up. Do we have a look at going elsewhere, getting
Yeah,
someone in free agency? Or there's obviously a couple of guys that have been floated across the Instagram, Chris Olave,
yeah,
Romeo Dobbs. there's a few guys that we could go, but
Yeah, I don't think
um,
Dobbs is going anywhere after that Sunday night game. He scored like 3 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going.
yeah,
I
agreed.
know Watkins is coming back, for Green Bay. But yeah, man, it's our trade deadline, man. That's something that we've talked about even before the games even started. It was like, all right, let's see how these first couple games go before the bye, and then let's see about if we need to make a trade. We might be in make a trade territory now, and a person that I don't want to see go, but if he did at this point, I would understand Pat Fryermuth. He hasn't been involved very much in the offense either. I don't know if that's by design, if they're phasing him out or what, but he doesn't really seem to be getting a lot of targets. He dropped one in the Seattle game that really pissed me off. But aside from, I don't know if he's just not getting open or if he's just not getting the looks. Because Aaron is going to. I mean, we've seen a lot more Darnell, which is I think great. But that's what happens when you have 4 tight ends on the roster.
Yeah, exactly, man. And as soon as Jonas Smith came in, it didn't look good for Pat. Darnell Washington obviously spends a lot of time out there. I saw a stat the other day when he plays more than 40 snaps in a game. Well, we have like a 6-0 record. We average more
Yep,
than 100 yards a run, 100 yards a game. So and he feeds Arthur Smith's offense so much more.
yeah,
Him being able to essentially be another left tackle or right tackle, like he
yep.
is
He's an extra
huge, man.
lineman out there, man. He's a people mover. You know. And then they threw Spencer Anderson out there, so they had him and Spencer Anderson. We had like 7 linemen out there. And it obviously worked pretty well.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty hard to stop too. Like we saw, Kenneth Gainwell's a pretty decent runner, but I don't think anyone expected him to kind of go off the way he did against the Vikings. Like he looked great, and he showed a lot of patience behind that line as well. I thought I
he
was
did.
rubbing my eyes, and I was like,
I thought it
is
was
that
26
Le'Veon
for a
right
second.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He paused for a second, and then he just shot through, and I was like, oh, man, this is great. So when Jalen Warren, that's another, obviously I didn't hear much about that. I think we'll get an update today and see what's up with Jalen. People talking about trading him away. I don't see that happening because that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But Freiermuth was the first person to come to mind for me. Highsmith also came to mind because of Herbig and the way he's been playing. But I think we actually talked about that. But I'd rather keep him because the depth at that edge rusher position, we need it, man.
yeah. Especially that's pretty much how our defense has been set up for look the last like 4 or 5 years, especially like we've just relied heavily on individual brilliance with TJ, Highsmith, Cam to just put pressure. Traditionally, we've only been sending four and then just sitting back in kind of a zone and playing man occasionally.
Yep.
But yeah, now this year, Terrell Austin must have got a boot up the ass from someone because he's
Must have been in our
yeah.
chat, man, because we've been ripping
Yeah,
him up.
yeah. But he's sending it now. Like he's sending more guys. We've seen, Peyton Wilson get involved. We've seen Patrick Queen get involved. We're starting to get sending not just 4 guys, 5, 6 guys, and then
Yeah.
that way we can rely on the outside with that corner depth like you were speaking about before.
Yep.
That
And
we
they
don't
they
need
they've
to.
been they've been mixing in the stunts a lot too, man. I like to see when Harmon in there has made a big difference. I think too. Getting Derek Harmon back. They've been running a lot of game up front with the 4 man. Running the different stunts and things like that, putting pressure on. I know Drake May was really confused, and then obviously Minnesota they had a depleted O line, but the guys were still mixing it up, and they took advantage of that, and that's what I like to see. That's something that felt different to me about this team was at least in Ireland, where we took advantage of the opportunities. Aside from the opportunity to actually putting the game away for good, and they want to stress us per usual. But in terms of defensively being able to say, all right, let's go ahead and get after these guys. They're hurt up front. We're sending 6 like every time, and I think that's when you have a reliable quarterback on the other side, you could kind of take a lot of those chances too. Because Aaron, he threw a pick. He threw a couple picks already, but like he's not going to put the ball in his way many times. So, we'll see where things go with the game plan for this game this Sunday. So Cleveland, we got Cleveland at home. So this is our second home game. Well, technically Ireland was our home game. I mean, everywhere is really a home game, but this is a
Yeah,
game in
yeah.
Pittsburgh. We're playing against the Cleveland Browns. Um, this is an interesting game to me. I don't think that this is Cleveland Browns of the past. I mean, this team, they don't, what are they, 1-4, but this team looks a little bit different. Um, they've basically got a reincarnation of Nick Chubb, and they also got some guys that you got to look out for on that offensive in the skill positions, man. So, what are your thoughts about Cleveland? Did you get to watch the game in London?
Yeah, Cleveland. Like Cleveland, it's I don't think we can take. I don't think we can afford to take, especially AFC North games, that we can take a game for granted, kind of thing. Like there's always been that Tomlin game where we kind of walk into games
Yep,
a little bit relaxed, and like I remember losing to Oakland, and we lost to the Pats a couple of years ago.
yep.
But yeah, going into this game, like I think that their defense is relatively good. Like they've got some guys on their defense.
They got a
Obviously,
great defense.
yeah, Miles Garrett is the guy that we've got to control. We've got to try and stop.
They got
Um,
Ward. They got Newsom at those corners. They got a linebacker that's pretty good too. That defense is actually very, very good. I think.
yeah, and they're missing Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that name,
Yeah, I
but
just call him JOK. Keep it early. Keep it
yeah,
simple.
yeah, keep it easy, man. I agree. But like he was another guy that was looking absolutely phenomenal for them in the middle, and yeah, unfortunately for him that he got injured. But yeah, moving forward into the Browns game, if we can just control the ball, just play classic style football, and they're going to be trying to do the same thing with Judkins. We've just got to control the ball, and then with the run game, and then those passing lanes will open up, play action, and like you said earlier, we need to see DK get the ball because he got it early, and he was sitting on just over 100 yards, just close to halftime. So,
Yep.
and then we kind of
Yep.
went away and started to run it and then just try to control the game. But like
Yeah, I
like
think
what
he
all
finished
great,
with like 126, but he had 80 on the touchdown pass, and he
yeah,
probably had like
yeah,
100. Right? Probably had 100 in the first quarter.
and then we're got to see who's going to step up next in the receiving role. Do we get Johnny Smith more involved? Darnell caught a couple of balls in the flats. Darnell is a big dude, and he is so hard to take down. I think he's
Yeah.
leaked out one. And you see he was just bouncing off guys, like pushing guys out of the way. Finally, oh, absolute beast, man! Like I can't
Yeah,
wait
he's
to
a
see
he's a
him get more
massive
involved.
person, man. Massive. So we got a Dylan Gabriel, man. He seems like he's gonna fight off Shador for a while, I think, in terms of that play. I think he played pretty well against that Vikings defense. And so we got to mix it up. We got to rattle him. He's a rookie quarterback. He's going into Pittsburgh. Don't know if he understands how storied this rivalry is. We got to give him a warm welcome to the NFL, man. If we have to do it, we got to get in his face early and often. Make a mistake, man. Because if he could get the ball out, if they can run the ball well and get the ball out to these tight ends and Judy, then we might be in for a classic Steelers, stressful game that will come down to Boswell needing a 55-yarder to win the game. Um, that wasn't something that I was expecting coming into the season because I was like, it's Cleveland, whatever. They're Cleveland. We'll do what we do. Play Cleveland. But after watching a few games, I'm like, these guys they actually might be pretty good. They beat Green Bay. It was a close game against Minnesota. That could have went either way. And then they had a couple blowout games where they played Detroit, they played Baltimore. So like they've played some pretty tough comp. So we just have to have a game where offensively we got to score points every drive because his
Yeah,
defense
for
is tough.
sure.
We got to score points every drive.
For sure, man. Like I said, like you said, Gabriel looks relatively competent going into the last game against the Vikings. So, yeah, like we just got to control the ball. Like I said, control the ball, and then that way, hopefully, open up the passing lanes, and then we can start, yeah, possessing it a little bit more.
Yeah, we got to get that run game going for sure, man. And I like what I saw in Minnesota. I mean, in Ireland. So we got to just keep that consistency going. Because, like you said, once the play action's there, we can do whatever we want, man. Aaron he's an artist with the ball. So we got to
And
just
we've seen actually on that note, our offensive line has started to progress nicely.
yes,
Especially Broderick Jones has taken a lot of heat from, especially in the group chat the first couple of games, but
yeah.
his last two games have been phenomenal, man. And hopefully this is the time where he can put that negative stuff behind him and he can just progress like a first
Listen,
round picker.
he playing against the best of the best this week. They gotta put some help out there. Get some chips on Miles. He's gonna be looking for it. They have to be smart. Miles Garrett is a one of the most talented, gifted players we've ever seen, in that he is a massive human that can move like a not massive human. So like we got to make sure that the protection is really good. These guys are going to need some extra protection in there, some extra help because Miles Garrett, as we know, he wrecked the game last year. He can wreck games, man. And if we can't keep him off Aaron, it's going to be a tough one for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can speak for Aaron and say that a 41-year-old does not want that huge dude landing on top of him at all.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, like you said, man, he's an absolute game wrecker. As much as us Steeler fans like to rip shit on him,
Right.
from taking TJ Watt's Defensive Player of the Year. So
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah. He
just
didn't.
pay
Whatever.
pay his respect and yeah, treat him with the respect he deserves because he is a hell of a football player. Yeah, but Broderick's definitely had his got his work cut out for him. So we need to help him. Like you said, let's send Darnell out there. Let's send running back Chip,
Yep.
as well as like you said, get big boy Jumbo set out there. Let's get 7 linemen. Let's help. Let's run
Yeah.
it.
Get the ball out quick. We can do those extended run by screens and things like that. I hope that Arthur's looking at that and saying the O line's been playing better, but like let's not feel ourselves too much to just think that we could put anybody on the island with Miles Garrett. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
for
that there's
sure,
an
man.
actual lineman in the league that could really survive that for the whole game. So
And there's and he's had 2 weeks to prepare for him. So hopefully, yeah, I've got no
right,
doubt that they've been in the lab, been in the war room, just trying to figure out how to stop him because not many coaches have.
right, yeah. So what do you think the score prediction is going to be for? What's your score prediction for this Cleveland game?
I cannot remember the last Cleveland game that hasn't been an absolute scrappy dogfight. Although it is early, like it's not too cold over there at the moment, so we might see offenses open up a little bit. But I expect the game to go pretty slowly. Both teams are going to rely heavily on their run, and yeah, whoever can control that run game, I think will benefit. Yeah, moving forward and later into the game, I think Steelers get the dub. I'm going to go 24-17. It's pretty hard to, bet against the Steelers blowing teams out because it just never happens. It's always a close game. So
Right.
unfortunately, it's going to be another nail biter. Yeah, 24-17. Go Steelers.
Yeah. So I had 24 as Steelers, but I had 24-13. But 17 does make sense because, 10-point game, then they kick a field goal, and then, something happens where they get the ball back again, they have to score a touchdown. because we can't just enjoy the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it'll be
Yeah, no.
something like that. It'll somehow become a one-score game. But I got 24-13. We'll see how that goes. Um, Another Steelers win, 4-1, while we get ready to travel to Cincinnati for the Thursday night game on the 16th. What are your thoughts about Cincinnati? Game against Cincinnati.
It's a quick turnaround, isn't it? But like I said, we've had the week off, so we can prepare ourselves for both games. Yeah, Cincinnati are another team that have been riddled, obviously a little bit with injury. Losing Joe Burrow
Yep.
is literally losing an infinity stone on that
Yep.
offense. Like it is Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Jaceki, weapons everywhere.
Even Chase Brown out of the backfield too.
Yeah, Chase Brown. Like I think Chase Brown had a pretty big breakout season last year, didn't he? But
Yes, he
I don't
did.
know. I'm kind of one with Chase Brown that I think a lot of running backs might thrive in that kind of offense because if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not worried about putting my time into trying to stop Jamar Chase. I mean, I'm
That's
not.
true.
Yeah, like I'm
I
not
know what you
trying to.
mean.
Yeah, I'm. If I was the coordinator, I'm not trying to stop Brown. You're trying to
I'd
stop
rather
Jamar
them run the
Chase.
ball.
Yeah, 100%. Like pick up a few 5 yard gains here or there, but yeah, no one's stacking the box against Cincinnati. So we just need to make sure that our pass rush is getting home and blitzing and sending guys because that O line that they have got is horrendous. And
Yes, it is.
like we saw against the
Absolutely.
Vikings game, we absolutely ran over the top of them, and we were sending guys left, right, and center. And yeah, they just
We
couldn't
got to
hold
make
up. So
tackles, man. We got to make tackles. Got to come up and make tackles. They're going to try to get the ball out quick. We got to come up and get these guys down, which is easy to say, but very hard to do because Jamar Chase, man, he's not a big guy, but he's a very strong receiver. When he gets that ball in his hands, he's trying to get that yards after catch. Got to bring him
yeah, for
down.
sure, man. For sure. Jamar Chase, like you said, not the biggest guy, but he's just strong and he's just such like for me, just a perfect, like prototypical build for an elite wide receiver, isn't he? He's not like
Yep.
humongous DK Metcalf, but he's not, Devontae Smith either. So he's just
Right.
that nice in
Yep.
between.
Yeah, and he's lightning fast, man. And you got to be able to just do what we can to minimize, as Mike would say, to try to minimize his impact on the game. But then you got T. Higgins on the other side too. Who's also a very good wide receiver. Um, he goes up and gets those 50-50 balls, man. And there's going to be, the pass rush up front is going to be the big determining factor. This line we know is not good. We might have to be sending those blitzes, especially on third down, so we can get off the field on third down for once, because this team has not been able to get off the field on third downs, man.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, and like we've spoken about this a little bit on those third downs. The first couple of games, we were just sitting in four, just sending four and sitting back in a zone, and like good quarterbacks can just eat zones. They just send guys into the soft spots, and that's it.
Yep.
Whereas, yeah, like we saw against the Vikings, just a lot more urgency on those thirds and fourth downs. We haven't been great at stopping the fourth, but yeah, third downs, we just need to really, really rely on our big playmakers and rely on Terrell Austin to scheme up something a little bit spicy for them Bengals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Offensively, against the Bengals, they got Trey Hendrickson, who he can become a game wrecker at times as well. Um, their defense hasn't been great historically, at least within the past few years. So again, man, we had to come away with touchdowns here. Last year I remember Russ threw for like four something, and we scored like 40 points, but then we still only won by a score. So like, I would like for us to put more touchdowns, obviously, and really continue to put the pressure on them, because once we go up, and then this defense has an opportunity to really pin their ears back and get after it, then this might be a game where we could get away with one. We can run away with it, but we can never really sleep on the weapons that they do have, because I was watching the game this past Sunday when they played Detroit, and they could be down by a bit, they could be down big, but they're never out because they got the firepower. So this is
Yeah,
another one we can't sleepwalk into.
they're such a like offensive powerhouse. Even with Browning starting, he's competent. Like
Yep,
all NFL quarterbacks are competent. They're there for a reason, and
yep,
he's got weapons absolutely everywhere. So I guess we as a defense, we want teams throwing the ball, but we saw last year in the Bengals game that they did beat us. Is
yep.
Burrow just gets the ball out so quick, and that's how you beat us. Honestly, you just get the ball out quick and control the run game. So we've got to make sure that we are getting home, especially on those big pass rush plays and those big third downs.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you think the score is looking like for this game in Cincinnati?
I think this one's a little bit more of a classic shootout. This one, Aaron is gonna break that defense apart. Like he's so cerebral upstairs. Like he gets up to the line, just looks around. He sends the guy in motion, figure out whether in man or not, and he just picks teams apart. I think that Jamar Chase and T Higgins are pretty hard to stop, even though we do have kind of the cornerback room now that can potentially get on top of those guys. But yeah, I still think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. I'm going to go. That's a good question, man. I might go 30 to 24 Steelers. Another dub, back to back dub going into the next one against the Packers.
Yeah, we need both of these, man. I'm thinking more. I'm thinking 34-28.
Yeah, I can see that. As long as we
34-28
win, man.
Steelers. Yeah, it's gonna be a bang out, man. Like we say, man. AFC North football, we can never take it lightly. Especially in more recent years. I remember back when the Browns were really, really, really bad, and it was just like automatically 2 wins that we could just line up on the schedule as soon as it comes out. It was like, up Cleveland, we're gonna whoop them. I think Ben lost maybe 3 games to Cleveland ever. So like,
His whole career,
they're
yeah,
they're
it's
automatic
ridiculous.
wins. So it doesn't work like that anymore. Cincinnati, they've always been a pretty good team. Back when they had Palmer and Chad and those guys. Um, so we need those 2 games, especially to start off the division ball, because that'll put us even further ahead. These guys are Cleveland's 1-4, Cincinnati's 2-3, Baltimore. Love to see it 1-4. And I think they got the Rams this weekend. So like we have a massive opportunity to put a foothold on the division, getting these 2 wins, because that put us up
Especially
significantly.
for sure, man. Especially that now we do have a bit of a 2 game buffer or 1.5 game, I guess, with the bye. That we need to be able to really, really keep stretching this lead on these teams, on these AFC North teams.
Yep.
Like it is, we both know how important AFC North ball is. Let alone we've got our foot on the throat early, and we're
Right.
never in this situation because of all the injuries that these guys have sustained early on in the year. But if that was us, we'd have every single person, you know, hanging shit on us, and but
Yep.
we never get any empathy or sympathy. So yeah, I do not care.
Yeah. We don't care. So that's why we got to take advantage, because I feel like we'll have the foot. We will, after we win these 2. We'll have the foot on the next. We got to keep it there. We got a lot of tough games coming up, but I feel at this point, even if let's say worst case scenario came and we lost all the games except for our division games, we would still win the division at this point, the way it looks. But
Yeah,
by the
absolutely,
time
man.
by the time we come around to Baltimore in December, Lamar will be back. And I'm not counting out Baltimore by any means. Cleveland's always going to compete. I don't know if they're always going to win, but Baltimore, I think they're still like the sixth. They're projected sixth to finish sixth or something like that. Six odds to win the Super Bowl still.
Yeah,
Even with their
which is
record.
kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, you can never count them out. Like, as much as we hate Baltimore, they are like I just have too much respect for them as much as I hate them. Basically, like
Right.
they're a great organization, and they're just as, if not more consistent as us. Like over the last 5 years, especially, they've been the powerhouse that just haven't quite put it all together. They've come up against the Mahomes and an Allen.
Yep.
Lamar just can't quite get it done. So, yeah,
Yep. But
let's.
we will. They're licking their wounds right now, all of them, and we need to continue to improve and continue to stack the wins, apply the pressure, run away with it. We have an opportunity at this point to kind of run away with it. If we beat Cleveland and Cincinnati, then we got Green Bay Sunday night at home, Indy. If we can handle some of those games and really get up to 6-5, 6-7-1, something like that, like we'll be in prime position at that point. Because after these two division games, we got Green Bay, Indy, Chargers, and then we play Cincinnati again. So if we do happen to win those 5 games straight right there, and we go up 8-1, going against Cincinnati, I don't know, man. That's looking pretty good.
Yeah, 8-1. I'm definitely not going to complain about 8-1, especially after some experts on ESPN said that we're going to go 0-6 down to
Yeah,
Oblosky or whatever your name is.
Orlovsky. Oh
Yeah,
man, he's from Connecticut.
how is he?
Yep.
Well, usually he's pretty good, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
usually he does no ball, but yeah, he was way off on that one. But yeah, like you were
I was
saying,
skeptical coming in, man. We had so many new faces here. It was hard to see how things were going to look. 0-6 was crazy. I think he just wanted to do that for clickbait. I don't know. But, I'm excited to see what the guys have in store. And hopefully they put together a good game plan, man, because AFC North ball, we don't have a lot of time to prepare. I know historically speaking, Mike Tomlin's teams on Thursday night football division games, I don't think he's won one. I think his record is, I think it was 0-5 or something like that last year, going into last year. Um, the Thursday night games, division away games, I think he's lost all of them. And that scares me a little bit. But I think that this is where we can probably get off the schneid and get this win because they don't have Joe Burrow. That's a glaring difference between Joe Burrow and Jake Browning. But that doesn't
and
mean sleep.
exactly, and we now have an Aaron Rodgers. Like we're seeing that, like you said, the last 5 years since Ben's gone, it's been an absolute quarterback carousel, in out, and guys that obviously haven't sustained their role. But now we've got Aaron, we've got the O line. Touchwood is starting to gel and come together. That's only a recipe for success, man, and we just got to keep on on.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So I appreciate, you being able to take the time out um, to meet with me from all the way across the world. This was pretty cool. I know that we're going to touch base again later on in the season. And, I'm looking forward to it. For those who don't know, my guy Jack has to get up at ungodly times of night and day to be able to watch these Steelers games. Can you tell them, like, in terms of reference, in terms of like how early you have to actually get up to watch a Steelers game?
I'm just looking at the like the Google, like my Google, it translates all the game times to our time.
Yep.
So, for example, you're 1 o'clock. Are you Midwest? What?
I'm in the East Coast.
East Coast, yeah. So, where is it? Yeah, so traditionally before daylight savings kicks in, so our daylight savings just kicked in last weekend. I for the 1 p.m. game for you guys, I would get up at 3 a.m. So 3 a.m. game would finish roughly like 6:30 ish, and then it's shower, breakfast, go straight to work. I'm a
Yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday, 3 a.m., guys. Just
Yeah,
for
Monday, so I have
just
to go to
for
work. Like I can't go back to bed. It sucks, but oh, I don't know the things you do for steal a ball, I guess.
that's
And
dedication,
then
man.
like primetime games are usually on during the day while I'm at work. So I'm a primary school teacher, so I'll always get the kids going, and then I'll have it down here on my lap, ready to go, or just try and check scores. Don't tell my boss.
I
Um,
won't.
but yeah, it's obviously I would like to have it at a nice time, but it is what it
Yeah,
is,
next time you
and
come out here to
it's
Pittsburgh, man, you let me know. I mean, out here to United States, man. We'll go to a game. That'd be cool.
yeah, for sure, man. That'd be awesome. I definitely want to get back over there as soon as possible. We'll get the whole chat involved, and yeah, we'll hang out.
Yes, sir. All right, brother, man. You have a good night. I'm gonna start my day over here, and
Yeah, I'm going straight to bed. I'm going straight to bed now. Yeah, working away. Before we do hang up, just want to say thanks for having me on. It was good fun chopping it up with you. And yeah, let's do it again sometime soon.
yes, sir. No doubt, brother, man. So I'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks for your time, man. And we'll talk.
Sounds good, Matt. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Later.